Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'll be showing you how to use the Fruity Multiband compressor, and of course I'll be using the Fruity compressor along with it. So let's get right into it. Here I've got a project opened up in FL Studio 20. Let me play the track. You might have heard it before, but let's play it again.
What you telling me be like long time no see? Like now you wanna G and ski, like now you wanna roll with me. Like I shouldn't beat and delete. Gonna time to feed this breed. When I come, she be looking on sweet. Got a bad beat when I pipe and leave. Man, I take no bullshit.
Okay, so this track isn't mixed yet. I applied the limiter here, but I can delete that because it's not actually applied. Okay, so let's look at the mixer channel. So lead vocals, of course, vocal dubs, ad-libs, and intro. The only channels that have effects currently on them is the ad-libs and the intro. If you want to see how I did this ad-libs preset, then check out the link in the description to get the ad-libs vocal preset, or you can check out the card above to see how I usually just make ad-libs. Anyway, so lead vocals, vocal dubs, ad-libs, and intro, and then routed into the vocal bus routed into the master bus, and the beat is separate. Okay, so let's look at the lead vocals and let's apply some compression there. So that's the first thing we're going to do. The reason why I'm not adding EQ to begin with is because the vocals don't sound like they need EQ right off the bat. So let's play it quickly.
What you telling me be like long time no see? Like now you wanna G and ski, like now you wanna roll with me. Like I shouldn't beat and delete.
So you can hear that the vocals kind of sound thin and it's lacking some oomph. So that's the main reason why I'm going to add a lot of compression. That's the main reason I even add compression most of the time. Is if it depends on how the vocal was recorded in the first place. So in this instance, because I've identified the vocals sound a bit thin and lacking a lot of lower end and boominess, so I'm going to add compression, so compress the whole vocals so that it can introduce some of the lower end. So that's what I'm going to do here. So let's play just a little bit more of the vocals so we can hear that again.
Bullshit, no bullshit, so don't take a piss. No. 14 and my grind is meant to reach 15, tryna make it central.
Okay, so the first thing, let's add a Fruity compressor first on the lead vocals, then we'll add a Fruity Multiband compressor on the vocal bus. So we'll go to the lead vox here, and then slot 1, let's look for Fruity compressor. And then I'm just going to bring the threshold to about -28, -30, around that. That's where I usually keep it anyway. So if you're thinking, where do I usually put my threshold? That's where I usually put it. And then the ratio, let's hear the ratio. Let's hear it being applied. So we're going to play the track, and then after we're going to increase the ratio as we go along.
Bullshit, no bullshit, so don't take a piss. No. 14 and my grind is meant to reach 15, tryna make it central. Big bike girls to come.
That's sounding a bit better.
Bullshit, no bullshit, so don't take a piss. No. 14 and my grind is meant to reach 15, tryna make it central. Big bike girls to come.
Let's just solo the vocal dubs and ad-libs. Mute those. And let's just play the lead vocal.
Bullshit, no bullshit, so don't take a piss. 14 and my grind is meant to reach 15, tryna make it central. Big bike girls to come over, but I said I ain't got no time. J and A1 just called me up. I said, Biggs, let's hop on a ride.
Okay, that sounds much better. Let's do the same thing to the vocal dubs. Let's just copy this compressor, and then we're going to go into the Fruity Multiband compressor. So
bullshit, no bullshit, so don't take a piss. 14 and my grind is meant to reach 15, tryna make it central. Big bike girls.
That's better. And then let's just stereo separate the vocal dubs and bring it down.
Bullshit, no bullshit, so don't like now you wanna roll with me.
Also, let's add the Ozone Imager 2 plugin. It's a free plugin, link in the description. And just to separate the vocal dubs. This is what I usually do. So
like now you wanna roll with me. Like I shouldn't beat and delete. Gonna time to feed this breed.
Let's reduce the gain of the vocal dubs so we don't have to pull the fader down here too tough.
Like now you wanna roll with me. Like I shouldn't beat and delete. Gonna time to feed this breed. When I come, she be looking on sweet. Got a bad beat when I pipe and leave. Man, I take no bullshit central. Big bang.
Okay, that sounded much better. So now we're gonna add the Fruity Multiband compressor on the vocal bus. Now we're gonna add the Fruity Multiband compressor. Cool. So go to the vocal bus and select Fruity Multiband compressor. Right now you can see that not much EQ work was needed on this. I think because when I recorded the vocals into the DAW initially, I think I added a lot of EQ. So this is a recording track I use. So EQ, just the normal vocal presence, and then compressor, just a light compression here. So whenever you use EQ to record into the DAW, it can make your mixing a bit faster, but it gives you less control because now like the frequencies have already been cut out from his vocals. So that's why these days I don't record anything on the recording channel. But anyway, let's go to the the Fruity Multiband compressor. Okay, so the Fruity Multiband compressor, what we're going to do. What is this Fruity Multiband compressor? How do we even use it? So it's split into 3 bands: the low band, the mid band, and the high band. What is that? What does that mean? So if we open up an EQ, because an EQ will show us where each frequency is. So you can see this, it says sub, bass, low mid, mid, high mid, presence, and treble. Basically, this 3-2 multiband compressor is split into three frequency split bands. So the low side, like from around here, you know, then the mid band from low mids to about high mids, and then the high bands from where it says presence to treble. And that's basically what it is. So essentially what we're going to be doing is, instead of not EQing, because EQing is adding frequencies and taking away frequencies, and just manipulating frequencies like that, but the 3-2 multiband compressor in this instance is going to be compressing each of these bands. Instead of compressing, if we just add the 3-2 compressor, it will compress the whole band. Like it'll be like this. Let's go if it was single band. How do I do that? Pretend these bands weren't here. Yeah, let me disable this band so you can see. Yeah, this like this. So a 3-2 compressor will be compressing the whole vocal just like this, So wherever you set the threshold, it compresses the whole thing. A 3-2 multiband compressor, on this other hand, now it will be doing something like this. So if I reintroduce a band, let me do. Yeah, if I reintroduce this band, okay. Say for example, let me make it simple. So let's say low and then highs. Let's forget about the mids for now. The 3-2 multiband compressor will be compressing this side of the, this side of the frequency band, and the high will be compressing this side of the frequency band. It works just the same as the compressor. Like if we look at the 3-2 compressor here, works the exact same, because you can see. Let me take off this 3-2 equalizer, parametric EQ2, and disable it. Let me just take it off because we don't need it now. Okay. It works in the same sense of as a compressor. I believe you get that point, but it looks a bit daunting because there's so many knobs. So let's just solo it for now. Let's look at the low band. Okay, you see that it's threshold, ratio, knee, attack, release, gain, just like it has on a 3-2 compressor. Threshold, ratio, attack, release, gain, and it has the type, which is the knee in this instance. Okay, so that's all it is there. Then same thing for the mids and the highs. So what we're gonna do for this 3-2 multiband compressor is, we're going to compress each frequency to a level so where we can bring it to a balance. That's why I use the 3-2 multiband compressor. I use it so that I can achieve some sort of balance within the frequencies. I usually use the 3-2 multiband compressor if, for example, there's too much high end and then I want to compress it, almost acting like a DSR. Or if the mids are too boomy, and then I'll compress that. Or if the mids are not, if the mids are lacking some oomph, or the lows are lacking oomph, then I'll increase the gain of the frequency in that essence there. It's almost like a frequency splitter, but we're compressing at the same time, so it was dynamic at the same time. So let's go ahead and use it. So let's look at let's play it first, of course, and then we'll use it. So let's reset everything here. Let's put the threshold to 0 on all of them. That's what we need to do, and then we can leave everything else the same, because that's the only thing if we leave it at what it was before, it was at minus 18 dB. So we're just gonna leave the threshold, put the threshold to 0. So let's play it.
Central, big bike, be like long time no see, like now you wanna G and ski, like now you wanna roll with me.
This one also has like a visual graph, but it shows you visually the gain reduction or the compression taking place and how much has been inserted, almost like the fruity limiter. But okay, so let's look at that. Let's play again.
Be like long time no see, like now you wanna G and ski, like now you wanna roll with me, like I shouldn't beat and delete, gonna time to feed this breed.
Okay, so we said that we're gonna introduce more of the low end. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reduce the threshold of the low end, and then we're gonna increase the ratio just a bit, and then we're gonna increase the gain, because we don't just want to increase. If we do just increase the gain itself, yeah, it will introduce some low end, but it will be too much uncontrollable low end. So let me show you what I mean. So also on this side we can just split the frequencies, but I'm just gonna leave it as the default just to keep things simple. So let's experiment with just increasing the low band itself, and then it will introduce a lot of the low end. So let's do that.
Be like long time no see, like now you wanna G and ski, like now you wanna roll with me, like I shouldn't beat and delete, gonna time to feed this breed. When I come, she be looking all sweet. Got a bad beat when I pipe and leave.
To be fair, it actually sounds decent. It actually sounds good, and we can go from there. But instead of just increasing the gain, we're also going to compress it just a bit so we can actually hear some compression. And after, we're going to do the majority of the compression in the mid range and possibly the high band. Yeah. So let's add some compression to the low band. My bad. I'm going to bypass these ones for now, so you don't hear anything there.
Be like.
Actually, let me solo. No, I'm not solo. Let me mute these the high band and the mid band so you can just hear the lower side. So originally it was like this. We need more oomph. So let's increase it. Of course, we're gonna need to introduce these ones, not mute it because we need to hear it in context. So let's play it again.
Be like long time no see, like now you wanna G and ski, like now you wanna roll with me.
And the whole aim of this is to make sure that the frequencies match the artist's vocal. So when I was recording with the artist, I know how his vocal sounds like. I know how he normally sounds like. So I'm just trying to match how he actually sounds like. That's the whole point of, in a sense, mixing with compression and EQ. Just trying to make sure it sounds as true to the artist. So that's why I need to reintroduce the low end. Now I'm going to compress the low end. Okay, so I'm going to put the threshold. I'm just going to put the threshold for now to -10, and then after we'll experiment after that. And we're going to go with the ratio. We're going to, of course, as we're playing the track, we're going to increase it as it goes along.
Be like long time no see, like now you wanna G and ski,
increasing the ratio.
like now you wanna roll with me, like I should beat and delete. Gonna time to feed this breed.
Okay, put a ratio of 6, and let's decrease the threshold.
Be like long time no see, like now you wanna G and ski, like now you wanna roll with me, like I should be.
That's sounding a bit better. It sounds more controlled than just adding the frequencies there. So you can see it sounds much better because now we're able to actually compress. So we added volume basically, essentially, or dB decibels to the low end, and then we're also compressing it. You could also do the same thing with an EQ because essentially the EQ and compression, it's like an EQ and compression and compressor combined essentially. But you don't want to do it with an EQ because it doesn't give you much control like that, like this.
Be like long time no see.
So let's compress it a bit more. So we're going to bring the threshold to like -34, and the ratio is about 7.
Be like long time no see, like now you wanna G and ski.
Let's play it without it. Let's see how it sounds like first.
Be like long time no see.
See, you can see that it sounds thin. Now let's enable this through to multiband compressor.
Be like long time no see.
Let's increase the gain just a bit. You can see the compression is quite a lot, so we're just going to back out just a bit. We don't want it to be compressing too much because we want to have enough of that low end there anyway.
Be like long time no see, like now you wanna G and ski, like now you wanna roll with me, like I should beat and delete. Gonna time to feed this breed. When I come, she be looking all sweet. Got a bad beat when I pipe and leave.
I think that's fine. I think that sounds fine. Let me play it one more time with the beat as well because I want to hear that in context.
Be like
Without it.
Be like long time no see, like now you wanna G and ski, like now you wanna roll with me.
Shy. And then let's hit with it now.
Be like long time no see, like now you wanna G and ski, like now you wanna roll with me, like I should beat and delete. Gonna time to feed this breed. When I come, she be looking all sweet. Got a bad beat when I pipe and leave.
Okay, so I'm hearing that we're gonna of course need to, let's reduce just a tad bit, but I believe that we're going to be needing to add more EQ, possibly a dynamic EQ after this compressor, because I can still hear that it needs clarity, but at least this is reintroducing the low end, just in case, for example, you recorded the vocals and you put EQ on there and you can't hear none of it now. This is a simple fix to it. So let's go to the mid band now. Let's play it.
Be like,
let's mute the beats.
Be like long time no see, like now you wanna G and ski, like now you wanna roll with me.
For the mid and the high, so I'm just going to compress just a little bit, as if I'm using the through to compressor. So I'm going to select a ratio of -15 for now, just halfway between what I usually set the ratio to, or the threshold to. Ratio, we're going to, of course, slowly increase it as we go. Let's play it.
Be like long time no see, like now you wanna G and ski, like.
And then we're going to increase the gain so we can actually hear what's going on.
Be like long time no see, like now you wanna G and ski, like now you wanna roll.
I like how that sounds like, because it's reintroducing more mid clarity, and that's good. That's very good. So we're going to introduce that one more time again. Just slowly, you know, play with the knobs just slightly.
Be like long time no see, like now you wanna G and ski, like now you wanna roll with me, like I should beat and delete.
Okay.
Gonna time to feed this breed. When I come, she be looking all sweet.
Oh.
Got a bad beat when I pipe and leave.
Okay. What that just did for me right here is that you can see that the lows were kind of dominating a bit more of the mids and the highs, mainly because probably the gain. So what I did with the mids is I compressed it just a bit, and then I increased the gain so that way it could sound level and balanced. So that's the whole purpose of why I even use the through to multiband compressor, to achieve a balanced mix, or whatever I'm doing. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the high band because I feel like the mids and the lows are sorted for now. Okay, so highs.
Be like long time no see. Like now you wanna G and ski. Like now you wanna.
I'm really thinking the highs may not even need to be worked on like that, but we're just gonna use it anyway to see if it could improve it, because maybe I just need to play with it first to see if it needs to be improved. But we'll see. We'll do something, and then after, if it doesn't work, we'll take it back, of course. So let's threshold, let's say between similar to where the mids was, and then the ratio, we're gonna increase the ratio as we go along, and again.
Be like long time no see. Like now you wanna G and ski. Like now you wanna roll with me. Like I shouldn't beat and delete. Gonna time to feed this breed.
I'm not really gonna do that too tough because during the high band, I think the highs, when it comes to the highs, I prefer to use the dynamic EQ or an EQ, because an EQ I'm allowed to go. It enables me to go thin on a frequency band and as wide as on a frequency band, so it gives me much control. Because I know if I increase the gain of this high band, I'm gonna have to DS it, and all the work I'm doing on this fruity multiband compressor on the high end is basically useless if I end up doing that. So I'm not really going to touch this too tough. I'm going to even decrease the gain a little bit just to see how it sounds like if it's decreased. And then, of course, if it doesn't work out, then I'll just mute it or bypass it, whatever needs to be done. So let's do that.
Be like long time no see. Like now you wanna G and ski. Like now you wanna.
In fact, let's compress it a bit more and see how that sounds like.
Be like long time no see. Like now you wanna G and ski.
Okay.
Like now you wanna roll with me. Like I shouldn't beat and delete. Gonna time to feed this breed. When I come, she be looking all sweet. Got a bad beat when I pipe and leave. Man, I take no bullshit, so don't take a piss. 14 and my grand is meant to reach 15, tryna make it central. Big bike girls to come over, but I said I ain't got no time. J and A1 just called me up, I said, Biggs, let's hop on a ride. I'm like, excuse me, babe, like, please.
Honestly, I'm fine with that. I like that. It sounds decent. But what I'm hearing from this plugin now is that eventually I'm going to need to be adding a dynamic EQ and an EQ beyond that, beyond this whole thing right now. So far that sounds alright, and we're going to continue with that. So let's play that with the beat. The whole track is not mixed, by the way. This is just a new thing, but let's play it.
When I come, she be looking all sweet. Got a bad beat when I pipe and leave. Man, I take no bullshit, so don't take a piss. 14 and my grand is meant to reach 15, tryna make it central. Big bike girls to come over, but I said I ain't got no time. Okay. J and A1 just called me up, I said, Biggs, let's hop on a ride.
Okay.
I'm like, excuse me, babe. Like, please, can you move to the side?
Cool. Alright, that's sounding better. So let's hear an A and B after using this fruity multiband compressor. And now, yeah, let's hear an A and B, I guess. So this is without it.
What you telling me be like long time no see. Like now you wanna G and ski. Like now you wanna roll with me. Like I shouldn't beat and delete. Gonna time to feed this breed. When I come, she be looking all sweet. Got a bad beat when I pipe and leave.
Now let's hear with it. Drum roll, please. Okay, let's hear it.
What you telling me be like long time no see. Like now you wanna G and ski. Like now you wanna roll with me. Like I shouldn't beat and delete. Gonna time to feed this breed. When I come, she be looking all sweet. Got a bad beat when I pipe and leave.
Nice.
Man, I take no bullshit, so don't take a piss. 14 and my grand is meant to reach 15, tryna make it central.
Hey.
Big bike girls to come over,
Hey.
but I said I ain't got no time. J and A1 just called me up, I said, Biggs, let's hop on a ride. I'm like, excuse me, babe.
Okay, so that's what I'm gonna play for now. But you guys can hear the difference that even though it's not a drastic change, like plugins, every plugin I add, it's not going to be like 100% drastic change. There's a reason why you add multiple plugins all the time. But it adds just that subtle difference, that subtle nuance. It improves it a bit. And yeah, you can, the main, if I was to recommend using I would recommend using a fruity multiband compressor. Number one, if your vocals are too thin. Number two, if your vocals are too boomy. Another one, if it doesn't sound that great and you need to control some of the frequencies a bit, or the dynamics of the frequencies, instead of just using the EQ. It's another method, and you can see it improved it a bit. So now we can go ahead and keep mixing the track, and then add like a dynamic EQ, or add any other plugin that we need to add. And the main reason why I really decided that, hey, you know what, I'm going to need to add this fruity multiband compressor, because I like usually when I used to record into the DAW, as I said previously in this video, I added the EQ and the compressor, and this EQ is the one that caused this problem. Look at it, just look at that. Really and truly, if you use this vocal presence EQ, you can see that it's ducking a lot of the low mids here and taking away a lot of the bass and the sub of the lows of the vocal and increasing the highs. So it's making it sound a bit tinny and tinny. So although that preset does mean well, sometimes it doesn't work out depending on the artist or the person's vocal. So it really depends on the vocal. So make sure that, I would recommend, don't try not to use too many effects on the recording channel, because it gives you less control. Yeah, just choose a good microphone to begin with, and that way, if you trust your microphone, if you know how your microphone sounds like, then it'll be easier to make decisions like that. But that's all I'm going to do for this video. Check out the next video. Possibly I'll be doing like another video on the dynamic EQ, or just even using another EQ. But I'll try and do it for just stock plugins for the next one, as this one was essentially stock plugins. And that's all I'm going to do for this video. Of course, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Comment down in the comments what you want to see next, because that helps me produce better content for you guys. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me just quickly play this track as we go. So,
what you telling me, be like long time no see? Like now you wanna G and ski, like now you wanna roll with me. Like I shouldn't beat and delete, got a time to feed this breed. When I come, she be looking all sweet, got a bad beat when I pipe and leave. Man, don't take no bullshit, so don't take a piss. 14 and my grind is meant to reach 15, tryna make it central. Big bad girls to come over, but I said I ain't got no time. J and A1 just called me up, I said, Biggs, let's hop on a ride. I'm like, excuse me, babe,
right,
like, please, can you move to the side? Let me hop on a whip.